It began nearly half a century ago. An annual event that tests the limits, the extremes on how far one was willing to go. Today, it begins again with 6 men competing for a berth in this year's final. One of them, a man whose larger-than-life persona radiates supreme confidence. Just last year, American Evan Singleton finally broke through and into the final. Now he looks to take it even further. Another, a Ukrainian with family and friends fighting for their country back home. Now, Pavlo Kordiaka comes here to honour them and perhaps inspire a nation. But first, they'll have to survive a tough qualifying group. 3 of them are hungry rookies. Who will survive a testing qualifying round and move into the final? The 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man is next.
Hello everybody and welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man. Eddie Hall, the 2017 winner, and I are standing here waiting for Group 4 of qualifying. Eddie, we've had 6 men qualify so far for the final, but not a single American. Today, Marcus Crowder and Evan Singleton are going to try and change that.
Yeah, Marcus Crowder is looking really strong, but Evan Singleton, there's no doubt in my mind he is getting through to the final. He is an animal.
He placed 5th in last year's competition. After that, he went to the Giants Live Strongman Classic and beat both Mitchell Hooper and Tom Stallman, so he's got to be a contender this time around. Also in the group, Kane Francis of Great Britain, Rauno Hainler of Estonia, Pavlo Kordiaka of Ukraine, and Evans Nana of Ghana.
It was nice of him to invite Evans Nana along to the competition, wasn't it?
It's quite a strong family, you know. All right, well, amongst all of those, maybe the biggest rival for the Americans is Pavlo Kordiaka.
Yeah, Pavlo, bit of a dark horse, isn't he? You know, he doesn't look big, very slender, but by God, is he strong.
Very well. Let's find out then who takes the 2 qualifying places from this group. Event 1 is the Webster Stones, and for that, it's over to our commentators Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Well, thank you, James. Thank you, Eddie. Danny Wallace here alongside Colin Bryce as we're about to witness, well, just an amazing group of athletes begin their journey to the World's Strongest Man final. And it's the Webster Stones first.
This is what they face in the first event. 2 unevenly weighted stones have to be picked up and carried down a 60-foot course and back again just as many times as you can. 1 drop's allowed. You get a 10-second count to restart.
Next up in the Webster
So first up, the first pair
Ghana,
from Ghana. It's Nana. First time here, and he's loving it.
Massive character. Really good to see him here.
Representing Great Britain,
And slightly more subdued.
Francis.
With a stiff upper lip. Bit of a roar from Kane Francis.
Yes, the man from Weymouth in England. Up against Nana from Ghana, who actually lives in Belgium. Gave up his job in finance to become a professional strongman. A risky change there, but...
It's the classic CV route, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you so accurately pointed out, these stones differently weighted.
There's 250 pounds and 300 pounds. Can you guess which one's heavier? There's one droops down on one side all the further. It's Kane Francis. He's making the running here, though he started to get a swing on there and it knocks his knees out from under him.
You can drop these once, you get 10 seconds, we have to pick him up again. He's got to touch that line and then turn. It's a tough ask.
Darren Sadler, our referee, closest to camera. Magnus Fair Magnuson, the referee on the other side. You would have wanted to have touched the line first, really, before you went for the second go, because it's hard when those are swinging around.
It's just finding that balance, isn't it? And knowing one wrong move, you could take your knee out.
Oof, just went. So, yes, Kane Francis by a whisker ahead of Nana there.
Kane Francis and Evans Nana.
Such a tough event, this.
With a distance of 20.16 meters.
2 new boys together at World's Strongest Man.
Nana.
2 friends as well. They know each other well.
With a distance of 21.38 meters. Let's hear it.
Well, this is the
Kane
distance to beat so
Francis.
far. Kane Francis taking the lead, 21.38 meters.
Well, he went for the hook grip. You can see he's tucked his thumb in there. Incredibly painful, but it's very effective in this event. Webster stones, named after former head referee David Webster.
He had some stones, that guy.
Next up in the Webster stones, representing Estonia, Rauno Heinla.
On to Heinla then, third time here for the Estonian. 41 years old.
Representing the United States,
Up against
Marcus Crowder.
a man with a decade on him. First time here, it's Crowder.
Yeah, Marcus Crowder from North Carolina, so just up the road.
Whistle.
He's a gym owner. He's an official Strongman Games champion as well, and America's Strongest Man back in 2020. In many ways, it's surprising we haven't seen him here before, but through different injuries and bad lucks, we just haven't. But he looks good, that's for sure. To the line first, ahead of a very experienced Estonian.
Well, Crowder, a picture of composition here.
Isn't he just? Rauno Heinla goes down, but he got past the turn, so once the 10 seconds are up, he has a charge, and he can see where he has to go, ahead of Crowder. He's to stand any chance of winning this pair.
Crowder's off again. He placed them down very deliberately. He's losing power, and that'll be that.
He's got exceptionally long arms. When you look at that, he was almost touching the ground.
They're slightly longer, slightly longer now.
27.55 meters. Let's hear it for
By some margin. There we are, 27.5 meters for Rauno Heinla, the Estonian. Probably over 30 for this man, is it?
He's a very cheerful strongman, isn't he, Crowder? 35.92. I guess he's got reason to be cheerful.
Yeah, if you get close to that 40-meter mark, that's big. And that was very impressive. Just not letting it touch his legs at all.
Well, the continuation of the Webster Stones when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man.
CBS Sports Spectacular 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. Visit Myrtle Beach, 60 miles of where you belong. And by the WSM Store. Level up your strength. Power up with World's Strongest Man gear.
And we are back with the continuation of Group 4's first event, the Webster Stones. So far, 4 athletes have completed, with the rookie American Marcus Crowder setting the bar, carrying 35.92 meters. 2 athletes left to compete. One of them, another American, the always intense Evan Singleton. Let's learn more about him and his SBD power profile.
Evan Singleton, 31 years old, 350 pounds, 6'6", representing the United States. This will be my 5th year competing at World's Strongest Man. The plan is to win. Body's feeling fantastic, have 0 complaints. Strongest and fastest I've ever been. I don't care who is standing in front of me. I do not care how hard this battle will be. I will come out on top. I will not give up, and I will fight until the very, very bitter end. I will not stop.
Don't beat T-Rex yet, Evan. Calm down, buddy.
I remember thinking when I first started Strongman that I had finally found it. I have found the thing where I fit in. I'm good at it, and I do believe that it is my destiny to win World's Strongest Man. 30 of the greatest strongman athletes in the entire world all assemble in one spot. There's just an aura that follows that, and it's awesome to be a part of that. These are the memories and the moments that you'll hold close to your heart for the rest of your life. That's another reason why I love coming here every year. What helps motivate me is I think about all the people that said that I couldn't. My motivation is standing on the top of the podium, looking at all of the people who told me no, and laughing.
Next up in
Well,
the Webster Stones,
not a man overburdened by a lack of self-confidence.
The T-Rex,
Evan Singleton.
Evan Singleton.
All 6'6" of him.
He's intense, that's for sure.
Representing Ukraine, Pavlo Kordiaka.
The coiffured Ukrainian Kordiaka. Try saying that after a drink.
World's strongest hair, for sure.
And they're off. So Singleton, closest to camera.
There's Kordiaka on the far side. Little stutter steps, and well, Evans stutter steps as well, but they're much quicker.
My goodness me. Well, this is fast work from the T-Rex. Just getting up to the line now, taking care with that turn.
Well, we all know the story of tortoise and the hare. You have to be careful not to rush ahead and have these clip your legs and go down. No, Kordiaka is a tough man, and he will grind this out as well. Oof, he's gone down though. Singleton doing very well indeed on his first go.
Well, look at this. He's got this drop still. He's got 10 seconds, if he can do it, to pick them back up and keep on going.
Now Kordiaka's catching. What can Singleton do in his second effort? Push his knees against the stones. Can he get all the way to the second 20-meter mark? He does! 40 meters, that's massive.
Absolutely huge for the absolutely huge American.
The winner of the Webster Stones, let's hear it for Evan
Kordiaka
Singleton.
just couldn't do it. Keep up the pace with Singleton. Nice bit of sportsmanship from both men.
And show your appreciation for Pablo
Kordiaka, well, up against
Kordiaka.
anyone else, that would have been a pretty decent distance. Just over 25 meters. Well, it slots him into fourth. Maybe not as decent as I thought.
Group 4, the Webster Stones from the United States, Evan Singleton.
Well, it's lucky after all that intensity and confidence of his SBD power profile that he did a good job there.
Perhaps it's his one flaw, actually. If he's too intense for too long, he just burns out. He's only made one World's Strongest Man final. He came 5th last year. He's just got to flick that switch back off again. And he's with James and Eddie now.
Evan, great to see you back at World's Strongest Man. Last year was fantastic. You came so close to making the podium. Tell us about this year's model.
Last year I came into the competition refined, calm, cool, collected, and everything I did was calculated. I stepped that game up, and now I'm a threat to the title.
Whoa, all right. What's the difference?
It's all about just knowing when to release that anger and aggression, and also being able to put it back in the box to conserve as much energy as possible.
Okay, it's a winning start, which is big because it means that next time out you'll go last and you'll have everybody else's mark to beat.
Yep, that was the plan.
What do you think of Evan's form so far this year, Eddie?
Well, I mean, I'm a good friend of Evans. I think he's absolutely amazing. Great personality, delivers when he has to. And I think, as you say, just the little tweaks are really showing right now. What other things other than the mental side have you been doing in training to improve? Because you just look so much stronger and leaner and fitter and everything.
I've been doing a lot of cardio and conditioning, so now I'm 350 pounds with abs. So I'm happy about that.
Good man. Oh, well, are you going to show us? You going to show us these abs?
No.
Not today. Okay.
You got to pay for that.
Hey, maybe in the final. Yeah. Maybe in the final. All right, well, Evan, great start. Brilliant to see you looking so good. Congratulations to T-Rex Evan Singleton.
So the two Americans of the group, Evan Singleton and cheerful Marcus Crowder, top the leaderboard in first and second. The veteran Heinler taking third. The rookie Evans Nana with a slow start in sixth. But can the American continue his early lead into the next grueling event? Find out next with the deadlift ladder when the SBD World's Strongest Man returns. Right, I've just laid everything out. So welcome back to the SBD World's Strongest Man. Group 4 is about to begin their second event, the deadlift ladder.
Well, thank you for setting it up, Danny.
Not at all.
Well, you have to lift 5 barbells. They get heavier and heavier. They start at 660 pounds, and it's 380 kilos, 840 pounds the last one. If you get there, 60 seconds to do the lot if you can.
Well, Nana was up first, managed 4 bars, 31.59 seconds, while taking on Britain's Kane Francis. Also managed 4 bars, a bit quicker, 26.98. They were pretty happy. Enjoyed a tender moment.
Next up, at the
So we
deadlift
move
ladder, representing Estonia, Rauno Heinla.
He's a 2-time world champion in max deadlift.
Representing Ukraine, Pavlo
Looking slightly more unkempt now,
Kordiaka.
that hair, isn't it, in this heat?
Yeah.
Kordiaka.
Well said.
It's going to get bigger and bigger.
It's hot and humid here, that's for sure.
Ready?
Now some of these guys choosing not to wear shoes or wearing ballet shoes. The lower you are to the ground, well, the higher the bar is towards your body, so it makes it easier to lift. That's the idea. Kordiaka and Heinle, very similar on the first pull. On to the second. 705 pounds, now to 750 pounds.
No problem for the Estonian. What can the Ukrainian manage? Oh, yeah.
You are allowed to drop these bars from the lockout, and Heinle onto the last one. I'd expect him to do it.
If he does, he'll take the lead. He's taking the bleed at the moment. Manages it, though.
The pressure, eh?
Yeah.
With 3 bars in a time of
Kordiaka didn't get that fourth one.
Wow.
Give it up
well, only
for
3 bars.
Kordiaka.
Kordiaka.
And the new leader of the
That'll hurt him on points, that's for sure.
5 bars in a time of 40.27
Doing himself a world of favours in a world of hurt. Heinle, all 5 bars, just over 40 seconds.
Well, you'd expect him to do a massive number here, and he did. He finished all of them. Maybe not the quickest, we'll see. But, yeah, letting off some pressure there as the blood came out, I'm afraid.
Last out in the deadlift ladder,
looking ready.
representing the United States.
All for a roller disco, Marcus Crowder.
He's a great deadlifter. He's pulled 1,000 pounds. And so too is this man.
Evan Singleton.
Just the difference in personality between these Americans. The roar of T-Rex versus the disco stylings of Crowder.
They are very different, very different. But look at that, Singleton really slow with his wraps. What's he doing there? He's taking too long. And Crowder not messing about at all.
Taking full advantage.
Maybe Singleton just wants to make sure he doesn't damage his grip at all. So he's doing double wrap round there with those straps.
This is reasonably quick from Crowder. He's going to need to get the 5th one, though. And Singleton overtakes it.
Well, 5 bars and 40 seconds from Heinle. I didn't think it was that quick, but it's going to be quicker than these 2 guys, unless... No, Singleton has not beaten it. A big shake there to get it up.
Goodness me, and Crowder now onto the big one.
I think he's worth it, but hasn't got enough time. That's the big question. It'd be massive if he did it. Remember, this is his debut World's Strongest Man. Come on!
Well, he was close, wasn't he?
With 4 bars,
a brave effort. Managed 4 bars. Marcus Crowder.
Marcus Crowder.
He'll slot in the 3rd position. Disappointing, and the T-Rex is the man. Quite as good as Heinle.
Not bad, though. All 5 bars, 44.5 seconds, dead on. Puts him in 2nd.
He was a bit slow at the start, but he got to that 5th one. Got it up. I don't think there was much more, though, Danny.
It was enough, though, and he knew it.
The winner of the deadlift ladder.
So Heinle,
representing
the
Estonia,
takes the deadlift ladder. All 5, very fast time, 40.27 seconds. All of which means that, well, after 2 events, the American Evan Singleton continues to dominate the leaderboard, sitting at the top with 11 points. Heinle moved up to 2nd with 10 points, and the other American, Crowder, sits in 3rd. Next up, a new event presented at World's Strongest Man this year, one that will test every inch of the athlete's body and mind. The sandbag steeplechase when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man. And welcome back to Myrtle Beach, where it's time for the group to move on to their 3rd event, the sandbag steeplechase.
A really tough event, strength endurance at its best. 3 sandbags, 265 pounds each, have to be carried down the 20-meter course in segments as you have to cross a hurdle at the halfway point.
Well, first up,
at the
it is
steeplechase,
Ukrainian Kordiaka.
representing Ukraine, Pavlo Kordiaka.
So tall, so powerful, so lean, so fast.
And fit.
Representing the
up
United
against.
States, Marcus
Kind of the boy next door, isn't he? Marcus Crowder.
Very much so, yeah. Really likeable character.
Very likeable. Just like a big Chris Pratt. So getting to grips then with the first sandbag, this awful dead weight. They've got to launch it over there if they can.
Yes, the further you can chuck it, the easier the second segment is, as you load it onto these platforms. Remember, 75 seconds for all three, which looks easy at the moment. Only 15 seconds down, but it starts to bite pretty quickly.
Especially with these shields, although it doesn't seem to pose much of a problem for Pablo.
The world's greatest sandbag toss. That's unbelievable power, wasn't it? Now, Crowder's chosen the awkwardly shaped shield sack. Kodiaka's left that for the last one. It's really hard to throw this one at all. He gets a bit of a push on it, and he's down to the final 6th segment. Kodiaka surely will finish this, though he's picked it upside down. That can slip out of his grip easily.
Well,
vice-like grip from former Europe's strongest man. Well done, Kodiaka. Now then, 10 seconds to go. I think Crowder might just get this over the hurdle, and that'll be his lot if he gets it over. Ooh.
No. Failed at the final hurdle.
With 4 segments in a time of 36.65.
4 segments, 36.65.
Crowder.
For our new American.
She did 4 and 36 seconds. Almost another minute went by without getting any more.
58. Let's hear it from
An exhausted Kodiaka. Managed all 6 in under a minute. Very fast.
Once that lactic acid kicks in, you really are in a world of hurt. Kodiaka getting the job done swiftly before it really bit and the pain kicked in.
Next up at the sandbag steeplechase, representing Ghana,
so
Evans
on to Nana.
First ever Ghanaian athlete at World's Strongest Man. Very proud of that fact. So he should be.
And Kane Francis representing Great Britain.
You ready? On the whistle, hands off the bag.
Hands off the bag, says Darren Sadler, the referee. And they're underway. Kane Francis. Both these men around about the 6-foot mark, so not giants for strongman, that's for sure.
Very strong showing from both men. They're showing no signs that that exhausted them in any way. Very fast pick-up. Wow, Francis.
Both going for the shield on the second one. You can choose any order you want. And these rogue sandbags. Now then, Francis upends it the right way, and so does Nana. Like Kodiaka, could have made his job really hard there. It wasn't just so strong. Now, on to the last one, and we still have over 30 seconds left.
Here we go. Francis lifting that dead weight. Goodness me, it looks like he's going to sink into that ground, doesn't he?
Once you get to about 45 seconds, the time you might run a 400 meters in if you're world class, that's really when you are awash with lactic acid, and it starts to take your legs out from under you. Look at Nana.
Well, Nana just bullied that sack over, didn't he? Now, his walk has turned into a bit of a waddle. Struggling, that'll be that for Evans Nana. Brave attempt. After a fast start, well, Francis, not sure what happened there.
He couldn't even get that over the hurdle for the 5th segment, so he has to settle for 4 in 36 seconds.
With 5 segments in a time of 1:01.82.
Just over a minute then.
For Evans Nana.
Only managed 5 segments out of 6.
Amazing, isn't it? They do the first 4 in about 30 seconds, and then one more in the final, well, 45 seconds of this. It's just a brutal event, and once you start to weaken, you really weaken fast.
Last out at the sandbag steeplechase, representing Estonia, Rauno.
Well, he's not under chalking, is he? Heinle.
Yes,
a thorough job of that.
Uses his quota, doesn't he?
Yeah. And Singleton's obviously been hugging him.
Evan Singleton.
The roar of the dinosaur.
Ready? On the whistle.
You've just got to pace yourself. It's like any kind of, well, not exactly long-distance event, but it is for strongman. Don't sprint back too fast. Don't just do anything too fast. You've just got to do it at the right pace to not get that lactic acid going. It's always going to come, of course. These two guys, yeah, quite wise there. You saw Nana and Francis wanting to beat each other, and they were trying to sprint back. It's probably the biggest mistake you can do. What a throw there.
Well, Singleton picking up that shield. Facing.
Oh my goodness, nearly a face plant there. He threw it about a meter early. I don't know what he was thinking. He totally misjudged that Heinle.
Well, Singleton runs back to the final sack.
So far, so good. We've seen Singleton struggling before in endurance events, collapsing very quickly. And I don't think Heinle, is he going to get that up? Oh! Yes, he is. Good man.
Well, 15 seconds Singleton has got to get this onto the platform.
This is a real test of, does he have what it takes to be world's strongest man? Let's find out, Evan Singleton.
Of course he does. Wow, he has come here ready this year.
Good effort. The man from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the former WWE wrestler, turned strongman.
4 segments in a time of 59.13. Give it up
the 41-year-old. Oldest man in the field.
6 segments in a time of
burnt out early, but Singleton, there you go.
Well, look at that.
Evan Singleton.
Didn't quite win it.
1 minute 11 versus Kordiaka's 1 minute. Still hugely impressive for a man who's come here to win.
The winner of the
So for now, in this event, there's your winner.
Representing
Pablo
Ukraine,
Kordiaka, Handsome Pav.
Kordiaka.
All 6 in under a minute. But despite that, Singleton remains at the top of the leaderboard, now with a 5-point advantage over Heinle in second. Kordiaka from Ukraine has slowly been inching his way up to the top, now in third. And what better way to celebrate a strongman event than with a Viking press made out of the classic World's Strongest Man logo. The Globe Viking press when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man. And we're back in Myrtle Beach with Group 4's 4th event, the Globe Viking Press.
Well, this is inspired from the World's Strongest Man logo itself. Atlas pressing the world overhead. This world weighs 330 pounds, and you have to press it for as many reps as possible in 60 seconds.
Simple as that. You just keep going. It was Heinle up first, managed 9 reps. Puts him in second because he was up against this guy. Marcus Crowder managed double figures, managed 12.
Yes, this is just a Viking press, really.
At the Globe Viking
it's a push press. You're allowed to shove it once with your legs, and that's it. You then got to use your arms and shoulders as Evans Nana. He's a right hand for the crowd, Evans.
Representing Great Britain,
And slightly more reserved Brit, Kane Francis.
He's a great presser, Francis. Massive boulder shoulders on him. As for Nana, well, I'm not sure exactly how he's going to do it. I haven't seen him Viking press before. Look how far back his feet are. Is that going to work for him?
Well, it's not hurting so far.
Down, stay down.
Is he locking his elbows there? Only just, Francis. As for Nana, that weird angle, I don't think it's helping him. He's pressing out against the machine almost.
Yeah.
Well, they're both on 8 reps. Francis, can he get another one? They are allowed to rest it. You can see the weight just shifting around, making it difficult to hold it overhead for that momentary pause. Francis 2 reps up on Nana. He's trying to get angry. 10 seconds to go.
And Francis in double figures, makes it to 11. And manages 12, which is enough to tie him in first with Crowder, who also managed 12. Nana didn't do quite enough to beat Heinle, managed 8, thanks to that unusual technique.
Yes, Heinle did 9 reps, so he goes into 4th. We have 1 pair to go, but there is a tied for current leader in Kane Francis. He's thrilled with that. Let's have a look at that technique. Do you know what? I thought he was burning out at about 8 reps, Danny, but he just battled through right to the last second.
Last out at the Globe Viking Press, representing Ukraine, Pavlo Kordiaka.
Ever-growing hair of Kordiaka.
Representing the United States,
Up against
the T-Rex, Evan
T-Rex.
Singleton.
Kordiaka really needs a big result here. We're starting to get close to that 5th event. This is the 4th event. After the 5th, the man in first place goes straight to the final, and 2nd and 3rd go into the stone-off. Ideally, you're the man going straight to the final, and Kordiaka set off like a jack-in-the-box, just flying up.
Goodness me. Well, both men pretty much neck and neck. This is very fast, very powerful, very determined. Kordiaka slightly burning out for a moment, maybe. Gives Singleton the chance to inch ahead. 14.
Both still have time, though. Plenty of time. 25 seconds. Kordiaka was quicker, and he's got more rest now. You see how narrow his hands were as well. That's the Olympic lifting background. Using his legs more. Singleton sneering at him.
Well, just trying to work out what Kordiaka is doing so that he can stay ahead. Kordiaka on 13. Singleton takes it to 16.
Kordiaka's got to watch the double dip.
Wow, what a battle at the end there. What mind games from Singleton. Good tactics. And a wonderful demonstration of their ballet skills.
Singleton.
Good sportsmanship there. Kordiaka, former Europe's strongest man, raising Singleton's arm, who was more brute force than technique.
14 then for Kordiaka, puts him in 2nd place, just behind this guy, Evan Singleton. In it to win it, 16 reps.
My goodness, he looks good this year, Singleton, doesn't he? Surely he's the man who'll go straight to the final. He's accruing points fast.
Well, Singleton has done it after only 4 events, in fact. He has qualified for the final with 22 points, 7 points ahead of 2nd, with it being impossible to lose the group. For the next event, here's James and Eddie.
Event 5 at Myrtle Beach, and the Beatles are back. It's the car walk, 1,000 pounds worth of vehicle strapped onto a big yoke. Got one here with a beast inside it as well, Eddie Hall. This is a lot of fun to watch, less to do, I imagine. How does it differ from a regular yoke?
Well, a regular yoke, all the weight is in line with your body, so it's quite central. A car, you've got to think all the weight's in the front, in the back. It's going to be pulling you forward, backward, left, right. This is really going to test the core strength on these guys.
I've got to tell you, you could fry an egg at one of these bikes right now. This group is so tight with Evan Singleton already through. The next 4 guys are chasing a stone off, but there's only 2.5 points separating that quartet. Who's your money on?
Pavlo's good at this, Heinle's good at this, but I'm going to say Crowder, because he did this not too long ago at the official Strongman Games, which is a qualifier for the World's Strongest Man, this exact car. So he's got a little bit of advantage over the other guys.
All right, well, it's going to be time to put the foot to the floor, quite literally, when we return on the SBD World's Strongest Man.
And here we are with the 5th event for Group 5 in these World's Strongest Man qualifiers. The super easy car walk, Colin.
Yes, the super yoke of car walking. 1,000 pounds, 20 meters is the course, about 60 foot. Fastest time wins. Yes, you can drop it, but it sure is hard to pick it up again and get going.
Well, 1,000 pounds on your shoulder. Kordiaka managed it in 30 seconds, there or thereabouts. Raced alone, of course, because Singleton is straight through to the final. And up next, the energetic newcomer, Nana. Let's learn more about him in his SBD Power Profile.
My name is Evan Nana, 26 years of age. I'm 6'1", 300 pounds, representing Ghana. Always can't describe how I'm feeling now. To me, this is a big stepping stone towards a bigger picture. It's epic, it's everything to me. I want to be a politician, probably be a minister of sports or like possibly a president. I consider myself to be a very open person. I'm a happy person as well, and I do believe happiness attracts, people to you. Thanks to this trait I have, I've had people come to me, open up, and literally also try to seek happiness. And I've said this before, sports is a big connecting factor that has united people. So having the privilege to represent Ghana It's giving me so much exposure to the bigger dream, so I'm really grateful. I know death comes for everyone, but I just don't want to die a nobody. I want to die leaving a legacy in any way I could, through positivity, through being strong, and through like helping people from Ghana one day. So this is where I derive my strength and energy from. I'm here to prove a point that Ghanaians could take the lead, and being the first Ghanaian to be here says everything. Of course, I might not be able to win it this year, but I'm here to stay and I'm here to win World's Strongest Man. I want to be the first African to hold the title. I want it, I'm here for it. I'm here to stay. I'm here to make a mark. I'm here to leave a legacy. I'm ready. I hope they're ready for this.
Well, optimism, positivity, confidence. The idea that one day he'll just be president because he's decided to be, it's Evans Nana.
He's a man on a mission, you know. Something about him. He has a bit of X factor, that's for sure.
So does this guy, I think, Marcus Crowder.
And he is pretty raw and ready at the moment. He's new to this game, is Evans. He doesn't have the experience of someone like Crowder, even though they're both new boys at World's Strongest Man. Look at this. He is just so athletic. Goes down, though, just overstriding there. Big mistake.
Both men allowing the tyres to bite into the ground. Very difficult to get it going, but Nana overtakes.
And under 20 seconds. It's a great time for a man who went down twice.
Put your hands together from Marcus Crowder.
Crowder almost forced to go too fast for his comfortable pace there, as Nana just shot off.
Nana's here. We're well aware, sir.
Give it up.
Marcus Crowder. 22.23 seconds.
The time of 18.36.
18.36 for Nana puts him in the lead. Both men about 10 seconds ahead of Kordiaka.
Yes, indeed, both beating Europe's Strongest Man winner, Pavlo Kordiaka. And I think it was because Nana drove the pace on there. He wanted the win.
Next up, at the car walk, representing Great Britain,
Kane Francis then. The Brit.
Representing
Head up
Estonia,
against the Estonian, Heinle.
Heinle's been very good at this event in the past, but now at 41, does he have the pace, the acceleration? Can he go through the gears? Well, no is the answer, as Francis sets off at a much quicker pace. And neither man anywhere near as quick as the previous pair. Francis about the 10-meter mark, he's halfway.
There's a bit of a wobble on these cars, but Francis powering through. Decent time.
I think he's just behind Crowder, and Heinle, well, he says there's no point in continuing. He's not going to beat any of the other guys now.
One more time, give it up for Rauno Heinle.
Well, 5th place he takes with a time of 8.75 meters, but motoring ahead. Kane Francis, 23.56.
Just gets ahead of Kordiaka. Europe's Strongest Man winner. That's a big scalp to take. And that certainly will have mixed around the points. Well, Evans Nana, he'll get the maximum 6. He's the winner with that stunning time of 18 seconds. But Evan Singleton is the man from this group. He qualified directly to the final without even having to do the last event there.
So once again, Singleton will be your group winner, and off to the final. Heinle's poorer performance in the car walk has caused him to lose his chance to compete in the stone-off, so well, it'll be these two men, Pavlo Kordiaka and Marcus Crowder, who will battle for their chance at glory. The conclusion then of Group 3's journey when we return with the SBD World's Strongest Man.
CBS Sports Spectacular 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. The WSM Store. Level up your strength. Power up with World's Strongest Man gear. And by Visit Myrtle Beach, 60 miles of where you belong.
And here we go. We're about to decide our 8th World's Strongest Man finalist as Group 4 begins, the iconic stone-off.
Well, this is the two athletes in 2nd and 3rd, head-to-head. gunning for that final spot in the final. And they face this set of stones. They get heavier and heavier, all the way up to 440 pounds.
Next up,
they have 20 seconds to lift it over.
Representing the
But
United
they don't get it over, the other man goes through. Simple as that. It's a sudden death scenario here.
Ukraine, Pavlo
Crowder just staring at that stone. Kordiaka, of course, more experienced in this event. But it starts with Crowder because he's in third place.
Yes, that's his handicap, if you like. He's got to get it over. And then Kordiaka return it in his 20 seconds, and then they go on to the next stone. And it gets heavier and heavier. All the way. Ooh!
And of course, slippier and slippier, as we've just seen then. Hence, of course, pine resin on both men's arms.
Yes, known as tacky. And that tacky just tacks you to the stone. Sometimes they use different formulas, and it can cause a bit of slippage, especially with the sweat. And it is hot out here. Nearly 90 degrees, and Kordiaka gets it to his knees, pops it over. We're on to the third stone.
I've got to say, I'm impressed by Crowder here. These are confident moves, high over the bar.
He's a good stone lifter, but he's giving away probably about 3 inches in height, maybe even a little bit more to Kordiaka. It's quite a high bar, 4 foot high. Not so easy when it gets heavy, that's for sure. And the circumference, of course, of these stones, as one rolls off into the crowd, they get bigger and bigger. Which, of course, makes it harder just to get your arms around it. And it gets it harder to get over the hurdle as well.
And this is about the time it becomes quite a psychological game as much as anything. You want to just keep returning that stone as fast as you can, as if to say, this is no problem for me, and I could do this for the rest of my life.
We are up to 400 pounds. Let's see how he gets on with this, Crowder, the American, trying to keep his hopes alive. He knows he has to do basically one more stone than Kordiaka to win this. Kordiaka gets to sit back and watch Crowder have to do that first attempt each time.
This, of course, is where it gets even more interesting, because this stone will just keep being passed between these two men until one can do it no longer.
440 pounds. A massive circumference as well. He can barely get his arms round it. Crowder. Oh, he comes up short.
And time is running out. That's it. Well, Kordiaka,
ladies and gentlemen, put
the
your
tall
hands together
Ukrainian,
for Marcus Crowder.
Takes the stone off, and we'll see him in the final.
Well, he's faced defeat in this before, Kordiaka. He knows what it's like. He's also come through as winner before.
For Ukraine's Pavlo Kordiaka.
Good sporting demonstration there from both men.
Well, that tacky will bind them together forever.
So qualifies as the second man, Kordiaka. He took advantage of his advantage. Boy, was he quick in returning them. Keeping the pressure on Crowder throughout.
And did so magnificently. And he's with James and Eddie now.
Pablo, so much work this year, such a challenging time for you, but this is a special moment, conquering your place among the 10 best athletes in the world.
Yeah, I'm buzzing because I'm in 10 strongest men in the world, and I'm only the one guy who representing my country, and I want to make sure Ukraine is still in the top.
It's really tense watching a stone off. What's it like to take part in as that giant stone comes back across the bar at you?
I'm just focusing to my lift, and I'm glad I didn't kill myself in the stones. I didn't spend too much effort, because in 2022 I did stone off against Maxim. He's like a killer, so this time it was better for me.
Excellent. Into the final again for the second year in a row, Eddie. And Pablo impressed to begin with. Pablo impressed last year. There were 1 or 2 issues, and then things didn't go his way. But what do you think about his chances this time?
Well, I think Pablo's had very bad events in the heats, if I'm being honest. I think the events in the final are much better suited, especially the Conan's Wheel. He got the world record in that. So events coming up, you feeling good? Because I like, from where I stand, I think you've got some really good events coming.
Yeah, events is good. You know, I'm like put on the work. The more serious competition, the more serious I'm working.
The work is paying off so far, Pavlo. Congratulations on your place in the final. Looking forward to seeing what you can do. Pavlo Kodiaka, everybody.
And that is it. Your two finalists from Group 4 are the American Evan Singleton and Pavlo Kodiaka from Ukraine. Our other American, Marcus Crowder, just fell short in the stone-off, takes third in the group. With 8 athletes already on their way to the final, the stage is nearly set. Next time on the SBD World's Strongest Man, 6 more athletes begin their campaign to glory when Group 5 begins their march to the final. For James Richardson, Eddie Hall and Colin Bryce, I'm Danny Wallace. In association with 45 Live, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports.